So it's, I guess it was confusing my title. So now I ended up going to City Hall today because I'm really annoyed. I like what I'm getting, the word I'm getting, like, well, I'm here at Public Works because I want to, talk about like I don't know if anyone saw Tony Ortega's thing yesterday about Sarah Northrup's. He posted her original divorce decree. After reading that, we really need to work hard to get the name changed back to Berendo. And I'm glad you're here. And at first, I should just say it by saying hi. I'm like jumping right in. Good morning, Nora. Good morning, Journey. The Journey. Oh, Journey, I have a question for you. I have a question. Should I email it? I'm trying to find out who actually owns the blue building. Is it Scientology or is it the Building Management Services? I know you would know. Hey, Miriam or Mir Jam, as you're lovingly known here at Public Works. Hi, Heather. Hey, Aloha. And and so I'm also with these kids. Like I want to go to City Council in person because like it's not like I condone or I'm not suggesting they do any of this stuff, but they're kids and they're doing it. And I hear Scientology is trying to get hate crimes on them and trying to ruin their lives. Like this is not hate crime stuff. This is teenage shenanigans. Um, and Scientology needs to quit it. Okay. The most that they're entitled to is a trespass. And any trespass. I mean, if they break the trespass, they go to jail. But not to try to ruin their lives from the jump, like get out of here. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hey, Kathy, I'm glad you're with us. You can hear me. So yes, so they bought um the um the Mama Hotel where Laura was born. They had originally owned it, then they sold it, and now they bought it again because they defaulted. So they're stepping up their game here in Hollywood, and we need to get them to go somewhere else. So I hope you guys are calling in. So I hope you guys are calling in. Oh, let me get off Bluetooth. Hold on. All right, Gigi, can you guys hear me good? Hey, Starboy. I hope you can hear me. Hear me? Let me know how the audio is. And, I have not seen Shirt Guy. I heard he got a job. Oh, Stephanie, that's so sweet. Thank you. And thank you, Nora, if you gave us a shout out for this. I appreciate it. Hey, Stephanie. Yeah, I feel like we really need to stand up for these kids. I'm so disgusted. Awesome. Yay. Thank you, Nora. I think Laura's calling in too. So I was driving around. So then after this, they have the management meeting. I want to go to that. And then I think here I'm going to stick with the name change, especially after that, like reading that divorce decree. I'm like so fired up with changing the name back to North Brendo. But then I want to go to City Council and make sure, and any of the police meetings, whatever. I'm going to really seriously advocate. Shame on Scientology for trying to ruin kids' lives. They know darn well this is not a hate crime. Oh, thank you, Stephanie, all the way from Michigan. That's a far away. Hey, Michael. And so I appreciate all our Michigan people. We have a few in our crew. And Commissioner Grant always here early. I appreciate him for that. But then, so yeah, so they have, it's good because we're having, I think, engineering here today and street services. So good, they get to hear. Just know there's always people in the gallery listening to what we say. So, and there's some department heads that are here today, or hey, Ganja. I know, I love how I had an interesting conversation with him before coming in here. I wouldn't want to say it out loud. I had to figure out how to do that. So it was interesting. But look, Bureau Street Services is going to be here. Yay, Mirror Jam. and Bureau of Engineering's here, and sanitation. And then it says all bureaus. So good, there's going to be some bureau people here. Did she call her name? I don't know. Did she say? Because I've been saying, like, I'm going to keep saying Miriam up there. I'll just, you know, and so, just thinking back here so I can talk. But yeah, guys, even Streets is, I think, getting activated again. He was doing a live yesterday. Like, it's ridiculous. And the fact that I think Shannon drew blood on some kid, and this kid looked like a young kid. Cutsy was showing it, like, why isn't she under arrest? Like, you're trying to arrest these kids. What about drawing blood on a kid? You can't do that just because they're going through your building that says all are welcome. Thank you, New Year's new name. I appreciate it. Exactly. Hairstyle audit. I mean, it's not wise to do it because, you know, it's Scientology and they are out to get everyone who comes against them. So, you know, I don't advise it, but they are doing it. It's a prank. It's just kid stuff. It's just kids being kids. Like that, at the end of the day, that's all it is. I mean, you know, it is bringing a lot of attention. I know a lot of people are saying, well, what's the deal with Scientology? And if they do get arrested in a hate crime, it's going to look so bad for Scientology. But I don't want it to come to that, even though it would hurt Scientology more than anyone. It could also really hurt these kids. And if the police are stupid enough to do that, so I'm trying to get them early not
Thank
to.
You very much.
Okay.
Good morning,
all right, guys.
everybody, and welcome to our regular meeting of the Board of Public Works for Friday,
Exactly.
April
They got to have the right
24th,
signs.
2026. Ms. Reyes, please state roll and establish quorum.
Hey, Antics.
Yes, good morning, President Kane,
Yeah.
President
Me too.
Rohan Grant, and Commissioner Mitchell, and we have city representative today joining us, Daryl
Hi.
Field, and I am Sandy Reyes. We have quorum.
Okay, guys.
Thank you very much. We will get started with general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items and will be provided up to 1 minute per person up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes. For the general public comment segment of each regular meeting, testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. We will start with audit LA.
What the heck? Sorry, having little chair issues. The dang sidewalks. Okay. Good morning. I want to talk about L. Ron Hubbard Way yet again and why it's important that we revoke his name. Okay, first of all, like we said, we don't have other religious leaders. There's a separation of church and state, but even more important, and I'm going to be sending it all to you, Tony Ortega in the underground bunker, he posted the divorce complaint from his second wife against him. And if any of these allegations are even remotely true, he was a bigamist. He was somebody who attempted to kill her on numerous occasions. In addition, he kidnapped their child, threatened her to, he was trying to make it seem like she was insane, trying to get her committed. And he was trying to get her to kill herself, and she refused. He didn't want to be married. Okay, well, you get a divorce, but he can't get a divorce because that would look bad, So it's really important that we look into the history of this man and see if that's what fits our streets now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll transition to our virtual platform.
Okay, guys.
And we'll start with Gigi. Gigi, go ahead.
Good morning. So L. Ron Hubbard Way, being named L. Ron Hubbard Way, seems like a hate crime to my religion. It goes against my beliefs and my Savior, Jesus Christ, because L. Ron Hubbard has said horrible things. He has called Jesus a pedophile. He has said that he himself is the Antichrist. He has said all this horrible stuff about Jesus. They named a street after him. Why is there no Jesus Christ way? obviously because separation of state and church. So why did you guys, I mean, because they're not really a religion, but they're classified as one. So why is there an L. Ron Hubbard way? Change it back to North Brendo. I yield my time.
Great job, Gigi.
Thank you. Next we have Laura. Sorry. Next we have Nora. Nora, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Echoing the statements of Gigi and audit, L. Ron Hubbard way needs to be changed back to North Brendo. The signatures were obtained falsely, but also you're glorifying a man who says in his first book, the 7-year-old girl who shudders because a man kisses her is not computing. She is reacting to an engram since it's 7. She should see nothing wrong in a kiss, not even a passionate one. Why are we giving a name to a street that is on the public for a person promoting pedophilia in their most sold book? It is not a religion. It is a cult of child human trafficking, pedophilia, and sex crimes that is being covered up under the cloak of religion. It needs to stop under your watch. North Brendo is the name of that street, and it needs to go back. It was a temporary permit, not a permanent one. Please, please do your jobs because they are targeting children once again with courses designed specifically, oh, you guys did for 7-year-olds.
Great job, Nora.
Next we have Mary. Mary Bowman.
Hi, I would also like to echo everything that everyone has said previously, just to build on the reputation and the character of L. Ron Hubbard. He kidnapped his daughter from his ex-wife and claimed that she was dead when he was in South America. This is the same kind of lies and deception Scientology uses also today, just like the founder did before. Please return the name of L. Ron Hubbard Way back to North Brendo Street. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. President Kim, we do have one more person up there.
Yes, please.
Laura, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I was on earlier. I don't know what happened. I want to exactly echo what everybody else is saying. Today I found out that the Mama Shelter Hotel, you know, in Hollywood, I was born and raised in it because my parents trafficked me there from Canada. I wasn't legally supposed to be being born. My mother trafficked me when she was 6 months pregnant on the plane. That building is now being bought already by Scientology under a front group that nobody, why doesn't it just say Scientology? Scientology's buying this building, the Mama Shelter, the old Mama Shelter Hotel. Please stop. You guys are like, how many times can we repeat ourselves saying, you know, stop giving them permits, stop giving Scientology permits. They're buying every building they can to make it into another slave compound. Stop giving them any permits and revoke the permit back to North Brendo Street. We don't want it L. Ron Hubbard way. We're sick of Scientology thinking they own the neighborhood, that they own that street. They do not. They don't own the street. They should never get permit.
Great job, Laura. Miriam, Nora, Gigi, everyone.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close general public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. We'll start with audit 11.
Good morning again, and today I'm going to start with number 1, Bureau of Street Services. I hope the Bureau head is here listening, because again, we just really want the update that something's being done about L. Ron Hubbard Way. I am done having my rights violated, like, you know, when they have to keep the sidewalks open, and that my constitutional rights, you know, are being violated when they are in fact violating their permits to know without any punishment whatsoever. And I think part of the problem is that they feel they own that street because where you gave them, and so this is because you gave them a revocable permit, not you guys personally, but they were given a revocable permit. So they feel that they own it. They were able to change it to brick.
They're able to get it to be no parking so the brick doesn't get oil on it. And so the city has been coddling them and just letting them do what they want to do for so long. But there's too many victims who, who have come forward, and, there's a new website, Victims Have Voices. I would suggest looking into it. And the more and more victims that come forward, we're going to be advocating for them. That's what sparked me, was Laura's story and Serge. But we're asking you to, that was 3 minutes?
You said you're speaking on item 1?
No, I said all items. I started, he said name the item. So I was naming it, I went all items, but
Go ahead.
thank you. All right, so second one, Bureau of Engineering. Okay, that refers to, and I did put in an official request to revoke the art permit. I don't know if it's gonna get on the agenda, I hope so. I know you guys are probably sick and tired of us, and I would love to go on and go do other things, but these things are so important. Like, I can't take the fact that there's victims right now in those buildings and victims that have come forward. We know there's more, none of this stuff changes, it's continuous. And the fact that it's allowed to happen, and a lot of it's because they feel they own that space. So I did put in an official request, and through Bureau of Engineering, to please look into, if they have not followed, and I have no proof that they followed anything. The city has no proof that they've proven that they have their insurance or their bricks, and also the fact that they are abusing that space. They are taking it away from, you know that the neighbor, I had that CAS report I submitted to you guys? Even that's somebody who could swear under oath that says that street does not appear to be public because of how they manage it. So, and there's people, I talk to people in the community, they're like, we're allowed to go down there. They don't even know they're allowed to go down there. And with the ones who know they can go down there, they said they're often harassed. I've had police officers and different people say, yeah, we kind of went on our own and we were harassed. We were told, what are you doing here? Investigated. Like, where in America do we walk down public streets and get intimidated by security who has no business doing security on that street? They don't have a contract. So that takes me to contracts, okay? The contract people, if you're here, they don't have a contract, unless you can tell me otherwise, to do security. And as far as I understand, you can only do security on your property with your security people. You need a contract, right? And so they don't have a contract. And if they did have a contract to do work on the city street, they would have to pay them full wages. They're only getting paid $47 a week at max. And it's and that you could not have that kind of permit for that. And so I'm asking you guys to please look into this. And if you want to if you are determined to let them have these things, then at minimum, make sure they're doing it legally. But I am asking you to please do an investigation at first, at minimum. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll transition to a virtual platform.
Okay, we'll begin with Gigi. Go ahead.
Okay, so I see something about resurfacing on the agenda, and I am strongly against any resurfacing of any street until you take care of Elron Hubbard Way. Those bricks need to be tore up, it needs to be resurfaced. They were laid in part by slave labor, by child labor. They need to be tore up and it needs to be resurfaced. So until that is done, I am strongly against any resurfacing in the city. Because we've been talking about this for a long time and you guys have not done anything about it. It needs to be done. So until it is, no resurfacing. I don't care how bad the roads are. You guys need to take care of Elron Hubbard Way and you need to do it now. Back to the minutes. I'm going to say what I always say. You might not have to put what you say in the minutes for public comment. You might be able to just get away with saying it's been received legally. But on a human level, can't you just have the respect and do it? How many hundreds and thousands of comments have gone unnoted in the minutes? On a respect level, it doesn't take that much work. You've had people offer to do it. Maybe that sounds biased because they're giving comments. Find someone else. People will volunteer to do this that are not speaking. They need to include it, please, on some human level. Just look out on that. Thank you. I yield my time.
Great job, Gigi.
Thank you. Next week did have Nora, but I do not see her. I do see one more person. Would you like to? Laura, would you like to speak on multiple items? Yes, please. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to start with the minutes. I feel like I don't want to be upset with the board, and I don't want to, like, there's times I call in and I can be like, Mr. Kang, and and I know that guys mean well, and that that time takes, the city takes time on things, and everything has, to be on paper and written down and all of that. One thing that may seem like a small issue like the minutes being documented is a huge important issue for people like me that are trying to deal and expose Scientology's permits and crimes and how they manipulate my whole family and my whole life, but how they manipulate people on a daily basis and how they do it through the city public permits. And if we could just get on the minutes, have the minutes where, everybody that said something, it doesn't just have to be Scientology, but that it shows that public called in and we care about this, or we wouldn't be doing this for the last 3 years now. So it would need to reflect, a judge in the courts would like to see, wow, for these minutes from Public Works, Board of Public Works, they have been asking and asking and asking, and for some reason Scientology has some hold over you guys maybe not even putting the minutes down. I don't understand what it is, but please, if we can just get an assistant or somebody, Mr. Kang, I know you have a communicator or somebody that you could put on that, they will take them 30 minutes to get somebody who can just get the minutes handled so it's actually a sentence that, Gigi called it, Anna called it, people calling in, revoking, asking, begging you to revoke Scientology's permits and to stop giving them any permits, but to revoke their L on covered way, because that's disgusting. That is disgusting. This is a nightmare of a cult that has ruined people's lives. And you have these children on the phone, on the board, calling and asking you to put it on the minutes so that we can do it as a legal thing to make change legally to get them to stop their human trafficking and child abuse. So a simple request like putting the minutes and making that clear for the city or the judge or a lawyer to see and use as evidence of Scientology's restriction and infiltration, that would be amazing. We're not here to attack you. We just don't want to be struggling with all this energy on items and numbers that we don't need to be when somebody can fix it and change it. You guys are the change. You can make that happen. I can't do it. I'm not in the position to do it. But you have my evidence, and you have our stories of all the kids that have called in that are now adults, that are separated still from their family members. Please do something about the minutes. I'm not going to keep calling and asking. It would be really amazing that somebody just do something about the minutes and have it reflect on the records. And stop giving Scientology any more permits.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the multiply and public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with the approval of minutes for Wednesday, April 15, 2026. I'll move. Is there a second?
They
Second
have
by
a
President Pro Tem.
management meeting I want to go to, but I want to see what's going on over here. How do I look with the management meeting? Like, they have the management meeting after this meeting? Where do you go for that? Is it here? You just come back here? Like when they do have a
Thank you very much. Moving on to our agenda items.
Yeah, they said it's having a management meeting today.
Services status update on major street
Yeah, but is it in this room? Like you just come back here?
But did it say what time?
It says 10:30, but I know it's not going to be 10:30.
So it's after you finish, they do
The management?
yeah.
Okay, but in this room too?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'll be back when I see what's going on. Thank you.
But as soon as they finish whatever is there, it goes to the
The
whatever.
management, okay,
Yeah.
but in the same room?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. You too. I'll be back though. Hey guys, y'all did amazing, very passionate. And now with the other one, I want to stand up for the kids. We're not going to let them harm kids that are just doing shenanigans, like it's just, it's not hate crime, just welcome. They need to stop making it all or welcome then, like really, which is it, all or welcome or all or not welcome?
I'm gonna try to stream it. I've never been to one. I try to always put in something to, for the management meeting, like I put in a written comment, but I've never been to one, so I'm curious to see what that is. They have all the doors open. No, I also will not win.
On a real theater. This was his way of thanking them for the gift of more time with his daughter. In addition to donating vehicles to the station, another thing special about Mike is every holiday season, Mike and his family would coordinate with Fire Station 72.
I know she couldn't make
and
it.
they would
She's in
drop
the
off
process of
hundreds of toys for kids.
being arrested.
Now,
No,
Mike
that's not
stopped
arrested.
the young community
Which movie?
at my annual
She's,
employee
yeah,
drive.
she couldn't come today because we're not
It was
usually
a
here on
highlight
Fridays.
every year.
But, and so she didn't always come, and so she,
Giant
made
flatbed
plans. I'm like, no, I'm
sofa,
coming down. I
coming
gotta fight
in
for these
with
kids.
all of
Where's she
these
moving?
toys for
Huh?
children.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's,
the kind of person
well,
that you want.
not local, but I,
Now, when he retired, he sold
not
his
too far,
company.
not so far, which is
To
what,
catch
hey,
tour,
how you doing? Original braces with a lovely present. Why is it so thin today?
But he asked Chris to do one
It's
thing.
always small. See, I never come to
Sell the
the
company. He said,
Freddy's
"If you continue
work
the
here for
practice
maybe
of
an hour.
donating these vehicles to Fire Station
If you had
73
came in here
so that they can get the practice
later,
of the
you
job.
would have missed everything.
Do they do public comment yet?
Just a handshake promise, nothing legally binding, nothing more. Now, Rachel's father has since passed. But Chris,
I know. Well, yeah, why am I putting the camera, like, this is what the people come for, this is what they sign up for. And she's gorgeous too, right? That's what, yeah, so depending on what, I know, we're so bad, we shouldn't be doing that, but, many more
Presentations and then it'll jump into
But
it.
how long is that gonna be? This stuff, doesn't
There's
that,
one more presentation.
oh, hey, Holly Rogue. Holly Rogue, I mean, well, I'm mad because they're trying, like, I don't know if you're seeing on TikTok, all these kids are just doing these runs through Scientology. That's just kids doing shenanigans. Okay, if they want to trespass them, you can trespass them, whatever. But Scientology is actually trying to trip up these kids' future by saying, they demanding an LAPD charge them with hate crimes. It's not a hate crime. But they're trying to ruin these kids' lives. And you know it's wrong.
Or I think
It's not hate crime.
because it's a church though, right?
No, it's not. It doesn't matter. It says all is welcome. It's not. It's not. The sign, big sign says all is welcome, and the doors are, open for the community. But hate crime, it's kids doing, like we used to do ding dong ditch.
A lot of stuff that's related to like churches, it normally goes towards that.
Yeah, well, they're crybaby. And then the one girl, she cut and drew blood on one of these kids. These are just kids being kids. So trespass them, okay? Trespass them, and then if they break a trespass, you can arrest them. But to try to trip up their futures because they're doing TikTok challenges is so disgusting. So I'm up on a Friday night to stand up for these kids. Not saying that I condone what they're doing or that they should be doing it, but it's not a hate crime. It's just ding dong ditch on steroids. But don't forget, Scientology's been recruiting these kids. They come from school, and they're always trying to recruit these kids without their parents there. Can you imagine if your kid was going by a place, a so-called church, and they're trying to recruit them into their cult without your permission? So these kids are just, probably tired of it.
So they were invited then?
Huh?
They were invited?
They're always being recruited, so these kids are being recruited. So, but I'm not saying they're being invited to do the run through, but they're always trying to recruit these kids, so they're fighting back, I guess. Not fighting, they're trolling them. It's just trolling. So I'm here to speak up. It's okay, trespass them. That's fair. But you don't try to ruin their future where they're trying to go to college, because it's not a hate crime. Right? What a hate crime is, like if they went into, we're going to go do some harm to Scientologists, or that's a hate crime. We're desecrating. But running through a building that says,
I think a lot of times most of the crimes that are anything related with like a church, anything religion,
they're overreacting.
a lot of times it goes into that spectrum.
They're overreacting. But that building is not a religious building. They don't have any services there. They only sell their books there and sign people up.
Well, that could probably change it.
Yeah, so we need to get that message out, yeah. They're not going through the blue building. Well, I wish the cops would go through the blue building. That's where they hold the seniors and stuff in, you know, in horrible conditions, I'm sure.
We can't just walk into it.
Why not?
Especially church.
No, they kind of stop at that. It's not a church. I'm sorry, it's just not.
We can't tell you it is not a church.
They have the status because they infiltrated and sued the kingdom come out of the government, and they relented.
If they have a status, let's see.
You know, you go to if you're in Russia, you go to jail if you're a Scientologist.
In Russia?
Yeah, there's a lot of places around the world that you're not allowed. It's not recognized as it's not a religion. It's too many people hurt. Yes, exactly. But when can we get LAPD to? We're putting you on the spot. When are they going to investigate all the crimes we're talking about?
That I can't. You're gonna have to go talk to Hollywood Division. They're the ones that are.
Hollywood Division. All right, we have. But they better not. I'm going to be upset if they go after these kids and not go after Scientology and their crimes. Sorry. I'm feisty today. I am like fired up. I'm fired up because they come after me, right? Fine. I'm I'm 60. You want to come try to wreck me? But I'm not going to let them wreck kids. That's the mama bear in me.
Mama bear.
Yep. So we're going to fight for the kids. Oh, hey, Rip Guy.
Thank you, Council President and
Oh,
colleagues.
man. So what do I have? How do I? Did the Girl Scouts go on here?
They're already,
111th anniversary
So there's one more?
of the Armenian genocide.
Okay, this is important.
But an honest discussion about the genocide will not be complete without addressing what's been happening in Artsakh.
Yeah, we're all worried about them.
6 years.
I'll see ya.
The following list
We're all worried about them. Like,
are currently being
I'm worried that
detained
they're going to try to charge. I'm worried about them for the
in Azerbaijan
what Scientology is going to try to do to ruin their lives.
than being Armenian and defending
That's why I'm here to
their
stand up
family's
for them.
homeland.
Not to
Now, I
condone.
read this list 4 names longer last year.
Yeah, but we need to stop that.
But every year I will be reading these names until they're all free. If you'll indulge me, colleagues.
Hey, Rox, thank you.
David Babayan, this is the gentleman who actually spoke at this desk in September of 2022. Arkady Lukasyan, Aray Harutyunyan, David Ishkanian, David Manukyan, Levon Mnatsarganyan, Bako Sahatian, Ruben Vartanian, David Alaveryan, Majat Babayan, Levon Balayan, Rashid Beglarian, Vasily Beglarian, Eric Bazaryan, Alyosha Kostravian, Garib Martirosyan, Ludwig Magirchian, Melikset Ashayan, Gurgen Stepanyan. These are all individuals who have been in prison for nothing other than defending the land that they and their ancestors have lived and toiled on for the last 3,000 years. And I just want to put that in context for us as Americans, as young Americans. We're going to be celebrating our 250th anniversary this July 4th. This is a group of people who have been there and can link their lineage, their existence to their lineage 3,000 years before, just to place this in context. And although we're here now to commemorate the genocide committed by the Ottoman Empire 111 years ago, another genocide took place in broad daylight just 2 years ago when 120,000 Armenians from Artsakh were forced out of their land, and no one stopped it. All by the Petro State of Azerbaijan, which is a republic in name only. In fact, it is an absolute dictatorship, a monarchy ruled by a playboy prince recalled from Europe to take the place of his dictator father. He even appointed his wife, because it's such a great democracy, As the vice president and his cabinet are cronies anointed to share the spoils of his corruption. When this dictator drove the Armenian population of Artsakh from the land where they had lived for over 3,000 years, the world simply looked the other way. In exchange for Azerbaijan's oil, the world's leaders kept silent. How many times have the same leaders said, never again, when speaking of genocides of the past, while closing their eyes to the genocide of the present? If you love humanity, if you have a moral compass, if the words never again are going to mean anything, it's up to people like us, like you, like me, to speak out. 111 years ago, the Ottoman Empire tried to wipe the Armenian people off the face of the earth. They were raped, murdered in mass executions, herded into buildings to be burned alive. Families and children were driven into the desert without food or water. We will never know the real numbers, but at a minimum, 1.5 million people died at the hands of the Ottoman government. And its successor state today, the Republic of Turkey, has never acknowledged that these events took place, even though they were witnessed by the world, including our own very ambassador of the United States, His Excellency Henry Morgenthau. Furthermore, we must remain vigilant against contemporary rhetoric that marginalize or disparage the Armenian community. In our own city of Los Angeles, colleagues, we've seen instances where individuals like Mehmet Oz, on behalf of Trump's administration, have used their platforms to make unfounded claims about Armenians, such as accusing the community of systemic fraud without evidence. These claims can only spread quickly. We're already seeing a narrative about Armenians being fabricated on social media. This demonization of an entire group based on the actions of a few is a dangerous precursor to deeper injustice. As a city, we have a moral obligation to stand firmly against such characterizations, and it's essential that we honor this history, not only to remember the past, but to ensure it never repeated. It is never repeated. To discuss the city's commitment to this mission and the steps being taken to affirm this message, I'd like to turn it over to General Manager of Civil Rights Department, Hugh Maddox. And before I ask her to step up to the mic, I'd also like to take a moment and recognize members of the Armenian Bar Association who are also with us here today, who have worked with Capri and her department in order to address these issues. With us are Lucy Varvetyan, the immediate past president, as well as Mesro Kudapurian. Thank you both for being here. Capri.
Thank you so much, Councilman Nazarian, to the honorable members of the City Council, and our esteemed president, bringing greetings on behalf of the LA Civil Rights Department. And, you know, just thinking and seeing some of the photos on the screen, there is profound pain when hate is allowed to grow and allowed to fester and allowed to manifest into genocide. And although we have our hate prevention campaign, LA is for everyone, you've seen it in 21 languages all over the city. The reason we fight hate, because hate is hate is hate. Some of the things you're seeing here, many people are familiar with because perhaps their own communities have been impacted by genocide. When you think about the Holocaust, you know, what happened in other places, thinking about the Rwanda genocide, hate left unchecked is deadly. Silence left unchecked is deadly. And so hate begins quietly with the marginalization, sometimes of neighbors, scapegoating of communities, just as we had a federal official do in front of a number of Armenian businesses. And want to be intentional that you know we silence people's truth. That is also a way that hate manifests and extends in so many spaces. Of course, people be paying tribute to the fact that Los Angeles has 500,000 Armenians in our city. And of course, we have many more in our neighboring city of Glendale, a place where I had the privilege to work for almost 3 years of my public service career, where I was treated very, very well by the Armenian population in the 90s when I stood out, and I was a strong minority in those spaces. I was uplifted and supported by this community. So these are our neighbors, these are our friends, and again, denial still exists. And until hate is eradicated, the LA Civil Rights Department will stand with this community, and we are pleased to live in a city where Mayor Bass made sure that our department is rooted with prevention, education, and accountability to make sure that the stories that we heard from the past will not take root again. We will say never again and stand with you in solidarity, Councilmember Nazarian. From the echoes, from the neighborhoods of Encino to the mountains of so many places in Los Angeles, we stand in solidarity, in recognition and love, because in Los Angeles we live by a simple truth. When you come for one of us, you come for all of us, but we are coming together and standing in unity for a better Los Angeles, a Los Angeles which is truly for everyone.
Thank you, Capri. Colleagues, as in most cases of horrific human atrocities, the survivors of genocide, Armenian genocide, scattered throughout Europe, America, and Middle East. Wherever they went, they overcame their grief and loss and worked, built, and made major contributions to the societies they lived in as artists, scientists, public servants, and entrepreneurs. So on this day, every year that I have the privilege and honor of being here, I want to honor the achievements of those people, the descendants of the victims, the descendants of the survivors, who struggled and rebuilt their lives. And I want to use this podium always to highlight the successes of the Armenian community and how we have broken the chains of victimization. Soon, Los Angeles will be the center of the sports world, from the World Cup this summer to Super Bowl in 2027, and of course the Olympic Games in 2028. As such, this year we are highlighting the mark Armenians are leaving on the world of sports. From Olympic wrestling champion Artak Alexanian to gymnast Albert Azarian, who's known as the Lord of the Rings and has a fascinating story, to the all-time national goal scorer Henrik Mkhitaryan, to Shavarsh Karapetyan, a Finn swimmer who actually sacrificed his career to save 20 drowning people in Lake Yerevan when there was a big bus accident. We've left an indelible mark on sports throughout history. So we wanted to bring someone to the council who exemplifies the grit of the Armenian spirit. So colleagues, allow me to introduce to you UFC lightweight champion Armen Tsarukyan. And I'll say a few words about him before he steps up. Armen was born into an Armenian family in Kakhalkalaki, near the Armenian border, and later raised in Russia after his family relocated in search of opportunity. From a young age, he demonstrated exceptional athletic ability, training in freestyle wrestling, earning a Master of Sports distinction, and even competing in ice hockey before dedicating himself fully to mixed martial arts. Since turning professional in 2015 and joining the UFC in 2019, he has rapidly risen through the ranks to become one of the top lightweight fighters in the world, known for his discipline, elite grappling, and relentless work ethic. Today, he stands among the top ranked fighters in his division, representing Armenian excellence on a global stage. Through his journey, he carries the pride and resilience of the Armenian people, demonstrating the ability to rise, endure, and succeed against all odds. On behalf of the city of Los Angeles, I've invited him here today to recognize his achievements, not just as an individual, but as an example of Armenian accomplishment in every field. Please join me in welcoming Armand.
Bravo!
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for inviting. And today is it's a very important day for us, for Armenian people. And I would like to dedicate this award to my people, to the victims of Armenian genocide. And we never forget this day. And I'm so proud to be Armenian and represent Armenia. Thank you to my people that they have done for me. So, and thank you, LA, Los Angeles, for giving me this opportunity to live here. And this is the best place to live in, and the future is bright for me.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Mr. Nazarian, we've got a few speakers on the queue, if that's the time for that. All right, we'll start with Councilmember Padilla.
Thank you, Councilmember Nazarian, for this great presentation. And I really appreciate that this year you didn't just bring up, the atrocities of the past, the Ottoman Empire, but I appreciate that you brought up what is still going on today. I know that there's a lot going on with the Armenian community and in their hometown today. So I think it's important that we soak that out in, and that you brought up that we need to know about and not repeat our mistakes in the past. Myself, as a San Fernando Valley native, I'm proud to represent a region that also has a large Armenian population. So we'll all be together in the weekend of remembrance. This is all deeply felt in our neighborhoods around this time, in our schools, our small businesses. It's part of the everyday fabric of the valley and our neighbors. So, which is why I guess I'll take this opportunity to also say that in Van Nuys this weekend we'll be having our own event related to Armenian remembrance, because as we tell ourselves every year to put this together, we're also here to focus on the positive, right? Which is why we have the music, we have the food. And what's always been most important to me is that I put this together so that it's an opportunity for the small Armenian population, but small and mighty, to be able to share a piece of who they are with the rest of the community. So thank you again for your presentation, and may the world become a better place because we continue to talk about the past and make a better future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Nazarian and Council District 2 for bringing this presentation forward, and thank you for your remarks today and for your achievements. I wanted to just rise to also honor, alongside you, the lives lost in the Armenian genocide and the generations who preserved memory, culture, and truth in the face of denial. Here in LA, I'm proud to represent a district that has a vibrant Armenian community and has shaped the district in profound ways, and indeed the entire city. I appreciate your words, Councilmember Nazarian, that remembrance is not just about looking backwards, it's about what we choose to carry forward. And never again requires something of us in the present, and we failed in our talk as a world, as a community, to stop continued injustices against Armenians. And remembering that, holding that truth is painful, and I want to thank you for underscoring that today, even as we look back forward and it doesn't happen again. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Councilmember Nazarian, for this presentation and for wonderful jam in civil rights. Freedom Picker for being the Armenian today. It's a shining example of the contributions of the Armenian community. I'm very proud to represent Live Armenia and District 13 community that is resilient, welcoming, full of so much joy. And I think your message about looking forward and finding positivity is the correct one. We understand, we all know international politics can be so complicated and difficult to find hope, especially now with this administration that we're working on. But I think your leadership and President Emeritus Krikorian has given all of us here in the city an example of how we can continue to build. You're bringing TUMO to North Hollywood, incredible, inspiring institution that was created in Armenia, here in the city of Los Angeles, as an inspiring example of how we can build in the city. When I go to Pibos and see the youth with joy and laughter and resilience, it inspires me to continue to build solidarity with our Armenian community. And so I thank you for your leadership, for this presentation, and giving us a vision that we all can get behind. So thank you so much for your friendship and for everything that you do.
Thank you. Councilmember Lee.
Thank you, Councilman Nazarian, for having this presentation today. Reed mentioned that we have a large Armenian population of the Los Angeles. We all represent a significant number of Armenians, and that's true for my district as well. But I appreciate that the Armenian community in my district is not only celebrated within themselves, that they are part of the broader community and really a part of the strong economic engine that is part of CD12. And so I want to say thank you for always bringing attention to the Armenian genocide. I'm proud to live in a city where we recognized it even before our federal government recognized it. And to Mr. Sarukian, thank you for using your platform as a fighter to bring attention to this. Another note, I hope you get that title fight at the UFC finally, so you can have a bigger platform to share with it.
And Councilmember Bob Hill.
Thank you. I'll just add my voice to the chorus, as they say, and yeah, Councilmember Nazarian, you've been such a leader on this. Grateful to you. You and I, a dozen years ago, we went to Armenia. We went to the museum in Yerevan, and I was moved to tears then, and it's only more relevant now. We went to Artsakh before the tragedy, so when I could see what's happening on the news, have that memory of being in Artsakh and meeting with the people there, and it just hits so much deeper. So I just wanted to rise to thank you for uplifting this event, the recognition, the memory, because it really, the only way we can avoid the mistakes of the past is to keep them forefront in our minds and consciously and very strategically work to make sure that it never happens again. So thank you, council member, and everyone who came out for today.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Vidal.
Thank you, Council President. I want to thank you, Councilmember Nazarian, for always bringing these presentations and bringing your identity to the fore and using your platform to uplift all of the issues that are so personal to you and your communities here at City Hall, and helping us remember that what solidarity really looks like is remembering that we all share some kind of pain in the city, uplifting that and making it and turning it into something beautiful, and fighting in the UFC dome. And so I really appreciate all your presentations and really helping us remember this. I'm from Highland Park, which is like the east side of LA, but I was definitely in Glendale a lot of my life all the time. And so, just a neighbor, and I appreciate you uplifting this issue.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Price.
Thank you, President. Well, unlike some of my colleagues, I don't have very many Armenians in my district. Understanding solidarity with the points
very recognized on this side and occurred there. And other places around the world. It's been a terrible part of the history. Standing in solidarity, talking about the importance of freedom, of openness, honesty, makes a big difference. So we recognize genocide, community genocide, but also the negative impacts that it impact all over the world. We thank you, and we are all in this together. Let's continue to fight. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo. Thank you so much, and back to you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Council President, and colleagues, thank you all for your comments, whether it was visiting in our shop ourselves together and getting a slice of what that life was like. I'm only sorry that I will not be able to do that with the rest of my colleagues, at least in the interim future. But thank you to all of your comments and the work that you do individually in your districts to uplift not only this issue, but all trauma that's impacted all of us. Lastly, colleagues, I want to, in the spirit of celebrating the power of perseverance, I'd like to relay a message to the Armenian community in the words of one of our greatest poets, Bayur Seba. Մենք մեզ ոչ մեկից չենք երադասում, բայց մեզ էլ գիտենք, մեզ հայ են ասում։ Եվ ինչու պիտի չհպարտանանք, կանք, պիտի լինենք ու դեռ շատանանք։ I'll just translate the last sentence, which says, we're here, we will continue to be here, and we will only become stronger. Thank you all for your time, colleagues.
Thank you so much. We'll give a round of applause. Very special and important day. Mr. City Attorney, we're prepared to go into public comment at this time.
Yes, Mr. President. Providing public comment. When it's your turn to speak, please state which of the agenda items you'd like to speak to. You will have 1 minute per item, up to 3 minutes total for the items open for public comment. When speaking on the agenda item, you must be on topic. Our goal is to get through as many speakers as we can. If you are not on topic, or if we cannot tell whether you are on topic, you will get one brief warning from me or the Council President. At that point, you need to get immediately and clearly on topic. If you do not do so, if you again stray on topic, you will forfeit the rest of your speaking time, and we will move on to the next speaker. The items open for public comment on the agenda are items 6 through 8. Again, the items that are open for public comment on the agenda are items 6 through 8. Members of the public may also speak for up to 1 minute for general public comment. During general public comment, members of the public may speak at any item or anything else in the city's subject matter jurisdiction. We will tell you when the time is up. I have a few more announcements. If I can have the interpreter please disperse one of the last in the room, please. If you require a Spanish language interpreter, please make sure to pause every few sentences so the interpreters can interpret.
Si requieren un intérprete, por favor, tomen una pausa para permitir al intérprete que haga su interpretación.
Don't worry, we will hold your time while the interpreters are interpreting, so you will get the same amount of time as everyone else. Thank you.
No se preocupe, vamos a pausar el tiempo para que tengan el mismo tiempo que otras personas por mientras se está interpretando. Gracias.
Additionally, if you've made the accommodation request to the clerk's office pursuant to the ADA, or if you would like to, in order to make use of the wireless handheld microphone, once you hear the name that you sign up under called aloud, please raise your hand so that the sergeant can provide you with that wireless handheld microphone. Finally, in order to help us run an efficient public comment period, we would ask that you please wait until you hear the name that you signed up under called aloud before lining up in any order on your left-hand side of the council chamber. Thank you.
I'd like to call up the first few speakers: Tamara Gomez Quinones, Warren Pease, Navajo, Jesse G., and Molly Kersner, Yona Goberman.
I hope I don't miss the management meeting, but I need to do this.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
Good morning. I would like to speak to the ongoing criminality occurring at the LAUSD charter school located
Here we
in.
go. This way.
Right. Thank you for your time. I've appeared before the city attorney here at council meetings several times regarding the criminality of a woman who calls herself Dr. Irene Vasquez, AKA Irene Elizabeth Morris, who is on the board of the Anahuameca Indigenous Charter School in Isabel Dorados District number 14. This woman has defrauded me of my property using LAUSD checks, money, and funds to pay for lawyers, private investigators, and to pay for my neighbor's gift cards that they went to pick up at the charter school in lieu of keeping tabs on me. Why is this woman so protected? Because she's protected by immigration attorney Alan Warnick, who was the other Alan doing immigration work for Epstein. He brought the blonde pilot over from Estonia. Irene Vasquez arranges sex parties for Alan Warnick.
Next speaker, connection on board, and speaker begins. Mr. Herman, this is your first and only formal warning. First of all, welcome to the meeting. There's no need for you to make any noises as you come in and interrupt the other speakers. So if you disrupt this meeting, you'll be subject for removal pursuant to Rule 7 and Rule 12. And for everybody who's here, I know that we have some guests who would like to provide public comment. We already introduced the Girl Scout group who is here. So just please, we appreciate your patience. You might hear some things that are quite honestly offensive. We apologize in advance. I don't know if you are on the whole earmuffs thing, but please prepare to use your earmuffs, and we appreciate everything.
Early morning, everyone.
I think I'm talking about public comment. I'm talking about housing. I'm also talking about, this is not for you, Ms. Hernandez, also for Ugo or Ms. Hunt. I feel that we all, and you, I'm going to let's get with the program. But anyway, I believe in honesty. I believe that old people should be acknowledged. Y'all putting the old people back. I don't give a shit about the old people, but y'all people the script. This is what y'all need right here. I don't get that.
Oh, he's not on yet.
I know there's children up in here. Excuse my language. This is what y'all need. This is what I get people out. Because I don't do that. Trump did it in Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rico, but now I'm doing it here. Let's give them a photograph and get it together. Help the old people. Without them, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be out with your grandma, with grandpa, or whatever. It doesn't matter what color, what gender. Always all the old people that did for you. They did for all of y'all. Y'all here because of the old person. And I know that y'all acknowledge it. Now, how do y'all do your days?
Thank you. Next speaker.
All right.
The other way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you are mad.
Good job. I really like your speech. Peace.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
Hello, Council. I'm Holly, and we're here to talk about the dog beaches and dog parks.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Okay, so, can we move their time?
They need she needs a
So I'm
word.
going to ask that everybody who's here with the Girl Scout troop to please put on your earmuffs. Just one moment.
That was disgusting. You just talk about love and everything and messing with kids. It's horrible.
Hey, everybody have their earmuffs on? Mr. Herman, you were warned earlier in this meeting to not disrupt public comment. I noticed that you disrupted public comment again to the point where the speakers had to turn around and look at you. So, Mr. President, you is eligible at this time.
No.
It is removed.
That was the speaker. That was the former speaker.
Every time I come to my house, you target me. You target me, you fucking Uncle Trump.
That was the speaker.
You target people. You're a criminal, racist, fucking asshole. You grow. God bless you, Donald J. Trump.
It was not him. That
Fuck
speaker
you.
said something really
I
nasty.
said a fucking thing. I'm standing back there organizing.
It was the former speaker.
This is America, and I got the right to protest. You stupid fuck.
You have the right to speak, but you do not.
No! Stop!
It was the former speaker. It It was not him. It was the former speaker said it was nasty when she walked off.
On the way, I'm gonna ask, please do not disrupt this meeting.
You're fucking throwing me out for what? What, you stupid fuck? You fucking racist.
No, but it's not fair because but they're not getting the person who actually did it. It was the speaker that spoke right before them.
All of your fuck-ups.
He's innocent. He didn't do anything. It was that other speaker.
And all the simplified faggots, fuck you, faggots. God hates homosexuality.
I'm willing to get kicked out for that. I'm willing to get kicked out for that because that was the other speaker. He triggered all that. There was that one right there.
Cover our ears now, I think. Yes. All right, we'll re-up them at a minute and start our public comment.
Sorry about that. Thank you for putting on your earbuds. Please go ahead, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so the dog park, yeah. So we have dog parks and we have parks, but the parks are mainly playgrounds and there are other things like statues. And some dog parks have signs that say you can't let them off leash, but dogs need to have the freedom and they don't get to run around a lot at home because some people, like, some homes are smaller than the city and that's how it's made in our economy. So I think that the dog park should have more grass area. And for the beaches, I think that the beaches don't, like, no one lets dogs on beaches because they could run around and they could make a mess. But that's, like, I feel like that's the owner's responsibility because the owner should take care of their dog. And thank you.
Great job. And you're right. Absolutely right.
So you'll have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you. So basically, on dog beaches, you usually only allow like service dogs or like emotionally support animals. But I think there should be like a gated area for like certain like dogs that get really like off leash, unless there's like a gated area. So, yeah.
Great job. Yep. You're right.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Before the next speaker begins, I'll call up a few more names. Sage Marisol, Frederick Silic, Kate Klopp, Michelle Kusick, and Butch Ware.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
Hi, speaking as Warren Peace today, I'll just take items 7 and 8.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes
Oh,
for the
sorry,
item.
and then I'll just, thank you. Thank you very much.
Item and 1 minute. Go ahead.
Appreciate it. So 8 is relative to a proposed donation agreement with the Los Angeles Neighborhood Land Trust for the Watts Towers Art Center, campus landscaping, and hardscaping improvements. Watts is certainly a community we should be investing in and developing in a way that benefits their current residents and stakeholders. The only concern I really have when I see these types of improvement motions is actually something that Marquise mentioned in a podcast not that long ago, talking about how in his neighborhood, rents starkly increased when they got a new metro station for the E-line. A new metro station for the E-line is great, but then that sort of brings a level of gentrification that can be displacing and makes it more expensive to live there. So I hope this is being implemented in a way that doesn't risk any sort of gentrification or displacement. And I'm glad that Mark Reese, who's not paying attention, had mentioned that in a podcast. Item 7 is relative to funding for programs and services associated with the Enhanced Summer Lights program being provided by the Brotherhood Crusade. And now, this is a funding motion for us to use $250,000 in the CDA portion of council projects, which on the surface seems like if this is an enhancement that's needed, that's great. But I just looked at the Brotherhood Crusade corporate sponsors, and this is a long list, so I hope I can get through it. Airbnb, Amazon, Honda,
No,
Bank of
but
America, Hilton,
Dave,
LA Chargers,
it was
Dodgers,
not
Rams,
Carmen.
Lakers,
It
Walmart,
was the
Microsoft,
person who spoke
Nike,
before them.
Sony, Spectrum, Boeing, US Bank,
The city
AT&T,
attorney made a
Ford,
big scene.
UPS, State Farm, Verizon, Wells Fargo, Capital One, and Northrop Grumman, which is a weapons manufacturer. They build fighter jets and missile defense systems. Could none of them foot the $250,000? Why are we taking that out of our tight budget when this is the level of corporate sponsorship we're looking at? It can be said that it's quite absurd how they don't listen to a single word. When the public's nothing like and council treats it like it's the time to take a coffee break or laugh at jokes that their colleagues make. Or maybe they don't even stay and try to pretend that they are listening. Don't you think it's disgraceful how they behave, ignoring the public who provides their pay? Our taxes are wasted on games they play. So for this election, I think I'll vote for A. Knowing how it deserves to stay, and Nitya's a disgrace. Nitya's a disgrace. By the way, where is she? I see her name up on the board, but I don't see her in the room. I think this is the very problem I'm addressing, that we don't have quorum and most of you aren't paying attention during public comment. Thank you, Tim, for paying attention. Shout out Smoking Scan.
Hey, all right, Stacey. Great job.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
Good morning, Council. My name is Judy. I'm a constituent of Heather Cups. I would like to make general comment about the mayor's proposed budget for FY27.
One minute, go ahead.
So, 99 years ago today, April 24th, 1927, two LAPD officers shot and killed Samuel Faulkner, a 20-year-old unarmed black man in his sister's South Central home after cops forcefully entered searching for liquor. Samuel's murder fueled a wave of protests against police brutality in LA in 1927. Almost 100 years later, and we know, but clearly we haven't learned. Angelinos are hurting and we're hungry. We don't need more police to criminalize and control us. We need supportive services. We need housing, healthcare, jobs, affordable groceries, safe walkable streets, bike lanes, public parks, and public services. Policing provides none of this. In fact, the budgetary burden of maintaining a police force actively robs us of the things we so desperately need. Increasing the police budget by $233 million for a monstrous total of $3.6 billion for fiscal year 27 is immoral and unconscionable, and I'm speaking to no one because you guys aren't even doing your jobs. So give the money.
Thank you. Next speaker, speaker, your council.
Before the next speaker begins, I'll call up a few more names. Ariana Toji, L.A. Byron, Sage Rosa Milano, Robert M., and Gunning.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to? John, oh, and actually, before we get, I don't know if the last speaker, I think you might have forgotten your vote.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. Here's one here, forget that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm sorry. What would you like to speak to? You said general. Okay, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Good morning, City Council. John Camara, newly appointed District Marshal of the Knights of Columbus in the San Fernando Valley. I would like to take this time to
That's
extend my
wild
deepest
audit. I'd like to see
sympathy to
that.
Mr. Blumenthal and your family for the loss
That'd
of
be a
your
good
wonderful
story.
mother. I would like to thank you and your staff for helping
Oh, yeah,
Latino
feel better
families
seeing
in your
stuff.
district, especially 20718 Napa. The family
I
has
hope I get
worked very
called.
hard
I
to
signed
build
it
a new
early.
home for themselves without the help of your staff. More vandalism, possibly a fire, could have destroyed the family's dream of owning another home. Once again, my deepest sympathies and thank you for being an advocate of the Latino community.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What would you like to speak about today?
Yes, sir. I'll try to stay on topic. I
Thank you, Style.
Okay, you have 1 minute for item 7 and 1 minute for Jeff. Go ahead.
Thank you. You know, I look at that money and then I hear Stacey talk about the sponsorship. Can you imagine the other places that could use that kind of money, that kind of sponsorship? I guess that's the beauty to be president of the city council, huh? You could really throw a lot of money his way.
you know, if it's doing good, that's fine, but there are other programs that could use a little portion of that, maybe 10,000. How many are we denying because so much money is going to an organization that has so much sponsorship? But I agree with it. It's a good program. I heard public comment, you folks are going to bring back the phone comments. Now, if you do that, I could really good, because if I have to listen to some of these comments that I still have on my phone, every customer, you can heard of that? You gotta see how many calls I got on here from the guys when I protected Mr. Bloomfield and they attacked his wife. So if you are going to allow public comment, Mr. Attorney, please control it. The guy's talking about 3-year-olds and how he abuses children.
I don't know why
Stop him from doing that.
he started antagonizing
You
them.
have control of this thing. Maybe the president will help you also, but again, we can't allow all these comments to come in, and all they're talking about is their sexual activity and a bunch of nonsense. You control what takes place in here. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Speaker. And to your point, yes, we will do our best to make sure that everybody is on topic. That includes Attorney General. Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
Frederick Silic, general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Friday to April 24th, 2026. It would be of great assistance to the human challenge if the presenter
I'd be mad if I had a big call. He came all the way down here. Hey, Dusty.
To offer. Ideas, principles of environmental development. We are needed something different as witnessed in middle fingers flaring, something different in vulgar expressions, insults, and defamations of characters blaring. What ideas do you bring to the podium of growth is the interest. With appropriate developmental steps inevitably put into place, the ideas that this citizen supports are a national housing project, everyone under the same housing guidelines and circumstances. No rich, no poor. Residential situations eventually lead to no rich, no poor in any manner. Additional needs, elimination of automobiles, and incorporation of an all-encompassing, all-pervasive passenger light rail in the cities and passenger heavy rail.
Next speaker, thank you.
Bravo, young man, bravo, bravo.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to? General public comment. Thank you.
Oh, he's so mad if I don't get to talk.
Good morning, Fire Jose with the Trans Latina Coalition. Thank you, Councilmember Hutz, Hernandez, and the rest of the city council members who continue to engage our communities as we advocate for a $4 million budget allocation. It is a shame that the mayor's budget team continued to advise her to not include transgender, gender expansive, and people in this proposed budget. The LAPD budgets can afford to shrink. Racialized bodies, queer bodies, trans bodies cannot continue to be the ones to pay out for the liability that the LAPD continues to do, not just through our taxes, but through our lives.
Oh, that sounds nice. So
President Marquis Harris-Dawson, if you want to continue to read time and time again the growing number in the millions, in the eight figures of payouts for liability to the LAPD department, we can continue to provide. So, Chair, I know you got more important things to allocate for the budget, but this is public comment right now. Chair Yablowski. So we look forward to the city council and the budget committee to do good focus on the process and the budget. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
You need to call more people.
I'm sorry. Is it item
6 through 8?
So 6 is open now?
Yes. Right.
Okay, 6 through 8. I'll take all of those and general public comment, please.
Nope. They better call me. Did you sign in? I wonder if I could need to sign in again.
I want to say it has to be the most sus name I've ever heard for an institution. That's just maybe just an unfortunate pairing of words. However, that company does receive donations, or that foundation, or that group, whatever, receives support for some very unsavory organizations that deal with weapons manufacturing, polluting the environment, all the stuff that all these council members a lot of times like to say, that's you guys, by the way, in case you are in wonder, who say that you guys stand up against, you know, and you're like, oh, we're trying to make
half
LA a
plus
green
one.
city, and we want to stand up against the profiteers and all that, you know,
They're allowed to be in the
bullshit.
back as long as they have their earphones.
Y'all are full of shit. When it comes down to it, money talks, bullshit walks, and
And y'all can get around the whole fucking city with how much bullshit y'all walk in. Item number 8 is accepting a donation for the Watts Towers Art Center campus for landscaping, art paving. You know, it's good. If someone wants to donate money to the city to make stuff look better, especially down south, you know, all the better. We should see more action like this instead of us kind of being on this weird position where we're begging people to do work in the city. We should honestly should be the other way around. People should be begging to donate money to have stuff happen in the city. In fact, not that long ago, industrialists, people that like to call themselves capitalists like that, you know, a lot of times they would donate money and donate property and shit like that. And a lot of the cities, a lot of the public spaces are actually from that era of landowners. Unfortunately, landowners today instead leave properties falling apart and covered in holes and graffiti and molds until they fall apart and they get replaced by new owners after accruing fees and then leaving the area to not pay them. Item number 6, I was not as prepared for, and I thought I was ready for this my time so I can move to the item on the agenda. Alright, I hate when people do this shit, so. Communication from the mayor relative to exemption from. So there's a lot of civil service exemptions for positions, appointments by the mayor. From what I understand, that basically amounts to hiring people from either outside or putting people that they want in a position and not having to go through the same process that people that already work for the city have to go through to get those positions. From what I understand, as somebody who used to work for a private company who would say that they hire from outside and then, promote from within, and then you see that they hire from outside to manage people that have been there for so long on the claims that, you know, they just know better. General public comment. So y'all are not paying attention. It's pretty despicable. And so here's a lesson for everybody that comes here: is that if you want to make change happen, you need to use force. The big interests, as you see, they don't come here and plead and try to persuade and, you know, get on the good side. They use money, which is their form of force, and they use it as aggressively as possible. You have the council president having side conversations and during public comment, as well as other council members that were having those side conversations because they don't care. So the time for debate is over. You guys gotta see the past 100 years they've been showing you by shooting people in front of us and engaging debate. Okay? The point is that conversation doesn't work, you have to use force. Okay? If we want to make something happen, we need to use force. Okay? I'm not advocating to doing physical harm to these people in front of us. I'm saying we need to use force. Whatever that may be. Maybe bringing them by shutting down the meetings, showing up to where they live, whatever it takes. But we have to use force to accomplish what we need, because that's honestly the great truth in politics, that force is above all else. Thank you. Thank you. So for the next speaker begins, I'll call for 2 more names: John Rio, Hunter, Johnny, Jumbo, Renee Pittman, and Jim G.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
I'm Chelsea and I'd like to speak to general public comment.
Thank you. 1 minute. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm a volunteer at the South LA Animal Shelter. I volunteer with the rabbits, guineas, and hamsters. I've been volunteering there for about 3 years. I'm very concerned with the recent announcement that Best Friends AFCCA is giving LAS money in return for them having control over the shelters. Best Friends claims to be no-kill, but in fact there are no-kill while we have them. They turn injured, old, friendly animals to the streets, not being not caring if they get killed or they can survive out there. They believe in managed intake, which is a pretty way of saying they turn animals away so their numbers look nice. They believe in transferring animals, which as we saw from the missing 318 in Arizona, these animals go missing and they die. Where is this proposal? They're acting like it's a done deal, but I haven't seen any documentation or proposal. Who will they answer to? And if they really want to help, why are they not donating that $14 million to spay and neuter? Because that is what will solve the problem. Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Thank you. Thanks for standing up for the animals.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to? Okay, and before you begin, this goes for everybody. If you'd like, you can always adjust the microphone, just so we can hear you. So go ahead. You have 1 minute.
I'm 17 years old. I've been volunteering for Los Valley City Animal Shelter. This is not to be funding, but a partial management plan. There is currently no official proposal submitted from Best Friend Animal Society, meaning that essential details are not yet known. Best Friend Animal Society focuses their efforts on decreasing shelter population rather than preventing animals from entering the system. They aim to place as many animals as quickly as possible, giving an illusion of success. However, placing animals without regard to their future puts both the animals and the general public in danger. This can be seen by the rise of dangerous dog incidents in Mission Hills following placements of dogs unsuitable for adoption. Best Friend Animal Society previously funded the Northeast Valley Animal Services Shelter in Mission Hills until 2022 following lawsuits and public concern involving dangerous dog placements and alleged disclosure notice.
Next speaker, so your time is
Great job, thank you.
And for people who are new here, so if you run out of time to speak, or if you run out of time and are unable to hear you speak at public comment, you can always provide additional written public comment at lacouncilcomment.com. Again, that's lacouncilcomment.com. You can find that URL at the top of the
Heck no, I signed up early. I signed up
Or you can also
early.
do a quick Google search, and it should be one of the first things that
Oh,
comes up.
no.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get myself kicked out.
Good morning, public comment.
Just 1 minute, go ahead.
My name is Claudia. I'm here to represent the trans community, but not just that, I'm here to represent all Angelinos. Walking down here, I saw the sign, we are Saturday. And I asked myself, where are we? Like, the mayor proposal is add more money to the police. It's like, this is crazy because just because some rich
They called Henry before me.
we're gonna add more money to the police. I don't think so. I don't
They
think
called
that's
you
right.
before me?
I think the police should do
Huh?
their job. Might they have motorized,
Oh, that name, yeah, he said, yeah, he signed me up.
hours later, the detectives did their job, they got somebody, the person who brought it. That's how we live. We don't need
You could
more
go first.
police. We need
Okay.
to clean up the streets. We need to
You
help
wanna go
the
first?
homeless people. If we have, that's where we are there, that's where we are, Los Angeles, we need to make an example. Thank you.
Thank you, next speaker.
Well, no, it's two for, it's open. Yeah.
Good morning, what would you like to speak to?
Yeah, dang, what?
Let's see, 1 minute for general, go ahead.
You signed me up on that.
Sorry.
You called their names or
Can
mine?
the introvert ask which item the speaker would like to speak to?
¿A qué punto quiere hablar? Yes, general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute, go ahead.
Tiene un minuto, adelante. Buenos días. My name is Pedro Ale Olivares. Resido en el Distrito 10 de Los Ángeles. I reside in District 10 of Los Angeles. Mi motivo de esta presencia es para pedir apoyo financiero a la comunidad transgénero. My presence here is to ask for financial support for my transgender community. Ya que han aprobado varios programas para otras causas, pero a nosotros siempre nos tienen relegada. They've approved support for other causes, but they've always negated our. Y estimo sinceramente que nosotros pertenecemos a la sociedad. I'm asking, please, we also pertain to the community. Y necesitamos igualdad de derechos. We also need equal rights. Para toda mi comunidad. For our entire community. Gracias. Thank you.
Before the next speaker begins, I'll call out a few more names. Claudia, John Camera, Shannon Axe, Stacy Seguero-Berlinger, Pamela, Denise G.
Good morning, what would you like to speak to?
Public comment. My name is Francisco Salcido. I'm here supporting the trans community. I belong to them. And 2 times we suffer already enough. We have seen so many changes, and now especially with this development, it's treating us real bad. Please, you guys support. Please don't keep us in mind. We belong in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, next speaker.
Hello?
Good morning, 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay, I want to start off at number 6 and just say absolutely not. been in that situation before, okay? If the mayor wants to bypass the civil service, it's because she wants a crony or somebody that she can control, somebody that she can manage well or handle to have the job, okay? It's not how it works. The civil service is there to have people come in, right? You take a test and you go through a process. And that's the right way to do it. We're sick of crony politics, sick of crony jobs. And so I'm saying absolutely not. Go through the proper process. As far as number 7, summer lights, I really believe that Smoke and Scan will agree with me on this. We'll find out, but we want summer lights, winter lights, spring lights, and fall lights. We need lights, and that's what we need. We need more lights. And as far as the last one, the Watts Tower being donated, I agree. I've been saying this for a long time, that I think the city, since we're so broke and you keep having to try to squeeze, every last dollar out of regular people to keep this thing afloat, it's prudent to get outside entities to help with everything. I mean, a lot of the things you're doing, you could get outside entities to help put their name on it, because you guys, we can't do it. We're like going down the tube. So it's good to, to have outside donations and stuff like that. And also for the record, I just want to say that the president and Mr. Lee still owe me an apology. With that, I'll go to public comment.
Go ahead, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. I'm here because, there's this TikTok trend called Scientology runs, and these are just kids. It's not a hate crime, but Scientology trying to make it sound like it's a hate crime. It is not. These are kids that probably been sick and tired of Scientology trying to recruit them without parental approval or parents there trying to recruit them every time they pass by the Hollywood Test Center, which is not a church building. That's where they sell their books and where they sell their programs. It's not, and it's not a hate crime. The most that should be done, if anything should be done, would be trespassing these kids. But really, the sign says all are welcome. And I'm here to advocate for these kids that you do not allow Scientology to get in there and try to ruin these kids' future by turning it into a hate crime. They would gladly try to keep these kids from going to college, from having good jobs, just to make themselves look good. So I'm here to say no, it's not a hate crime. It's just kids being kids.
Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Good job, young lady.
Thank you.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to?
That was a good
Good morning. Let's do all items and general. Okay, so that would be items 6 through 8. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items.
Thank you. On item number 6, the problem with an exempt employee is that at the very least, a civil service exam, you have a public record of this person took an exam, and we can verify that they're qualified. With an exemption, you're bypassing whether this person is competent or not. And the other issue is that the city won't even honor public records requests to see who the deputies in each of these departments are. In fact, I know right now that the mayor's office has several deputies where their email addresses and their contact information are completely wrong, despite being public on the mayor's website. So obviously, this is yet another means to hire a crony, keep it on the down low, and make sure that this person is as equally inept and as equally incompetent, at the very least, as the mayor, and as well as the rest of the city council. And so therefore, I am strongly opposed. If we're going to move on to item number 7, we're talking about the Summer Lights program. I was walking here, and there's quite literally a giant hole that a guy that I know who's homeless actually lives inside. Okay, it's because that pothole has gotten so big that the sidewalk's in such disrepair that this guy has literally made an apartment unit for himself. And so at number 7, how can we possibly say that we're actually doing any sort of public service, public infrastructure renewal when there's literally people less than a block from here living underground because of this, how much of disarray the public infrastructure is. We're going to move on to the next item. We're talking about item number 8 at this point. Relative to this, there's actually a general contractor I was made aware of that actually made public comment at the Board of Public Works in the last 2 months I believe it was
Geronimo.
It was Geronimo, their general contractor, and they came to blow the whistle to expose that there is a sweetheart deal. If a contractor puts in a bid, the city will say, put in a higher bid because we can pay you and we'll choose you, and some of that money we'll get as a kickback. And so how is it, right, that possibly, is there any investigation to see whether Geronimo is connected to item number 8 and whether the council person is also connected to that same public corruption? Just like current price, this is actually the same issue that current price is running into, and we need to know. We need to know there's an investigation. There needs to obviously be an investigation with various conflicts of interest. Obviously, the city's not doing jack shit about it, and obviously this is of relevance because you're using tax dollars to achieve these corrupt means. And with that, I'll jump straight into general public comment 1 minute. I have a website, auditthegovernment.org. I've already started building misconduct profiles of many of you. You can watch it all there for free. It's all very well documented. I saw current Price's deputy almost shit his pants on the stand when he was being deposed by the DA. He went to the bathroom and was splashing water on his face like a fucking madman because he knows his ass is on the line. That's a young guy who fucked his entire life over for what? To help one shitty, corrupt asshole who's fucking their tax dollars, my tax dollars, and soon enough, the rest of you will be on that chopping block too. You'll have Carter coming after Dawson's ass. I already know who came after your ass. Carter also came after Mayor Bass's ass with sanctions and contempt. In fact, I was hearing that Carter had a recent hearing about the contempt hearing. There's mediations that are going on because what he's doing? He's giving you more rope to hang yourself with in the judicial process. Because he knows you have to fuck, and he's just giving you more and more leeway to royally fuck yourselves. You're not going to win the appeal, and I'm going to be there videotaping it. Go fuck yourself on the government. Thank you.
Great job.
Sorry.
Here's my phone.
Just figure out this. Your first note is all the way. Please do not disrupt the other public speakers. They do not disrupt you. I'm sorry, you said general? Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
I believe that the core function of government is to establish justice, just like it says at the beginning of the Constitution. With that in mind, I'd like to suggest a way that you could save residents a lot of money. Last Wednesday, you approved a bunch of legal settlements for a bunch of money. But oftentimes, people don't want a big financial payout, they want justice. And forcing innocent Los Angeles taxpayers to pay for the harm caused by the misconduct of staffers doesn't provide justice, despite what plaintiffs' attorneys might say. What victims want is to see wrongdoers picking up trash along the side of the highway for a few months and to be banished from positions of responsibility. Which is a long way of saying that you need to find out why prosecutors aren't prosecuted. And I believe the only way to do this is with a military level investigation of public misconduct. So ask for one publicly and don't have secret discussions.
Great job.
Good morning. What would you like to speak to? You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Who was the council person that might be doing the crap shit? That was really good to me.
Oh, thank you. No, it was Geronimo. A guy came to Public Works saying that Geronimo, like he was, I think, a subcontracting under Geronimo, and it's Geronimo. I don't know whatever, I guess he's saying whatever project it could be, but it was Geronimo that's saying double your bid, and then the city approves it.
Because they tried to do that with me, and I ended up winning a lawsuit.
Really?
Give me big old contracts. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be part of that.
Yeah, they were telling him to double it.
On this side now.
Right. See, I don't know if so he came to whistleblow at Public Works, but I don't know where the project, which person it was under, if it was them involved. But thank you, I appreciate you too. Thank you.
So that's why I'm here asking me for your support to all the trans communities who suffer from neglect.
Oh, good. Good job, as always.
What are they saying?
Good. They were all happy. They were glad you're back, and they said hello.
I'm asking you to please, through the budget process.
Thank you, guys.
To improve the lives
I want to go
of
see if
marginalized
the
people.
management meeting's over. I'm going to go. They had the management meeting at Public Works. I want to see if it's still going on. You mean come back? I'm not sure if it's over yet. Okay, Sergeant Dimples. Okay. This is where they failed, okay? It was not, the one who disrupted it said something nasty to the girls, that person, the speaker right before.
Yes, Duarte's gonna go speak to him and give him the.
That ain't cool, that's not fair. Like, I stick up for truth.
Yeah, we'll bring it up.
Because, you know, all he did was trigger him because he accused him falsely, so I don't condone what, you know, what he said, you know, with these kids here, but he wasn't the trouble, it was that person right there. They did it. They, like, she was very rude to these kids, and the kids looked back, and then Herman got yelled at, okay, and then it created that snowball effect, and those kids had to hear all that.
Yeah.
And then he got kicked out, which I hope they're going to remove that because he did not do it.
Well, I can't do anything but the removal. I can only bring it up to them to see if they can resign, but again, it's not our rules. It goes based on that.
But he didn't do it. It was that person.
So we'll bring it up.
Okay. Can I file a complaint? Because it was, she was nasty with me too. She was saying,
Complaint on who?
that person right there. The speaker that was right, the one with that one right there, right in front, like directly in front.
No, I know who you're talking about, but what type of complaint are you going to file?
That she's the one who, she insulted me and then insulted those kids when they were trying to speak. And that was the disruption. And that he blamed, because he just assumed it was what's his name, and it was not.
As soon as public comment starts, I'll go meet up with the city attorney.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Tell him how I'm like disappointed, and that it was that person right there. Person's always trouble whenever they come. They're just nothing but. Okay. Do you think that Public Works is still? I don't know if we can make it, but they have the management meeting. I think right in the same building, but they might be done because this was so freaking late. Have a good one, Papa. Because so the Geronimo thing. Hello. Oh, I already signed that one, and I did double check. I did, like, sure. So that always helped the fire department. But yeah, so they should remove, because it was Geronimo that solicited for the subcontractor to do the double, right?
Yeah.
So why are they not removing Geronimo?
I know how this works, personally.
They need to be removed.
Yeah.
Dusty! Don't worry, I just let him, that was not you, it was that other person who, but are they still a public, I just want to see if there's, baby, I want to see a public, oh my baby boy, oh my baby, oh my baby, oh my baby, that's my boy, that's the boy. But it wasn't you, it was that person that spoke before them. Well, but yeah,
last time he was really
they were still, she was trying this time too.
Yeah, totally.
And then that was so uncalled for. So I just talked to, like, when you're in trouble, you do wrong, I let you have your consequences. But that was not you this time. But I just want to see if they're still doing the thing. Yeah, that was not cool. Are they still having the management meeting?
It's open already.
The management meeting too?
Yeah, that one was open.
There was, it's on the agenda. So I know the main one's over, but I want to do the management. I'm hoping it's still going on.
Yeah, it's over.
Is it here or is it going to the other?
It's the other one, but it's already done.
You sure? In the public works? That's where they hold it?
In the back of the room, so it's back there.
Like, can I go check? How do you get to it? Just in case. Because I heard it's open to the public, right?
For the access tickets to the commissioners?
Well, for their meeting, for the management meeting.
I can ask them. I saw
saw President King walk out, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I think it's over.
Oh, they take so long at this other one. I mean, I got to speak at the early one, but I wanted to talk at the management one. Never been to that one. All right, thank you. You too. Oh, we missed it. Oh, thank you, Gen X, and yeah, everyone have a great rest of your day and week and this nonsense. I might go back and like, I feel like it's not fair. Like when Herman is, I don't defend it, but this was not, he was innocent. They said it's over, huh? Sure. Thanks.
Here we go, here we go.
You want it in the backpack
Here we
or
go,
you want it
here
in
we
the
go.
white?
Shout,
The white one's probably better.
We are Smoking Scan.
Smoking Scan.
And I like your opinion about Mr. Wardle. She's a stupid fuck. I don't want to listen to her. Click.
But see, you were innocent this time. When you're guilty, I let it stand. But that was not you. It was just because I was right there. That freaking nasty, she's so nasty.
Yeah, and they feel pity for his ass.
But those kids, they didn't deserve that. Like, that was unfair.
Price.
Oh man, but did you see Price's face when you gave your thing?
Record this, because I saw.
Price.
Go ahead, I'll record it.
Price, I saw your deputy shit himself in the bathroom. That guy was slashing water like a madman. After the DA got through his ass, Price, you threw a young black man's life away, Price. Because of your corruption, that young black man's life is fucked and he's going. That guy didn't do anything wrong. Your corrupt ass.
And stop giving permits to Scientology at Shrine. You know better.
Well,
I have not done it, dear Mayor, lately. I probably need to. What did he say? I couldn't hear it.
No, I saw his deputy. That young black man's life is fucked because they got his whole story on the record, where he came from, the neighborhood. He's just a regular guy. He didn't do anything wrong other than try to get a job in the city, and then ended up working for this corrupt asshole. We saw all the text messages. He was actively trying to let there be known on the record that there's a conflict of interest, but his name is permanently stained because it's attached to that guy. Nobody in the hood forgets, all right? As somebody that grew up in the hood, I'm telling you, they do not forget. Your neighbors will want nothing to do with you. Your romantic prospects, if you want a wife and family, are fucked. Nobody wants to be with a known convicted felon. And his ass pled out because he knows. He knows. And he fucked all those young guys' lives for his corrupt bullshit.
And he screwed over, and he knows all this stuff in the Shrine. He collaborated to give them to where Scientology was. It was his office.
Absolutely, that was absolutely.
Knows better.
Hey, Dawson, thank you for your lemon. All right.
Oh, your boss said he owes me an apology, though. Dusty, he's a sweet boy. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I want to go in and see if they're talking with him because I advocated because I'm not like.
Drill on.
When you interrupt, I won't, it's like, you know what, you do your thing, they kick it, that's between y'all. But you did not do anything. I was there, it was that person that did it. And that ain't cool. But still not cool talking like that in front of the little girls.
They hear echoing, they blame it on me every time.
Shit, I got my water
Oh,
bottle.
shit,
I'll go back and I'm the same way, I'll learn too much. Did they lock it out?
You guys were good today, man.
Oh, thank you.
Some of the best stuff I've heard in a long time. I've been here since 1989.
Audit.org, you'll see all my ratings. It's free.
All right, good to see you. All righty, thank you. I want them to talk. I want to talk to the city attorney. Hey, Michael. Good job, as always. Sorry. What? I always think of one person. I don't know why I'm on jail, but.
Everyone in the chamber.
We need to set them straight now.
For adjourning.
Hey, alrighty, you're leaving? Okay.
Yeah, worst case, if you want to find me downstairs, then I'll
Okay.
gotta do other stuff.
Okay. But thank you for that. Thanks. I'm glad you showed up.
Today I arrived with a
Imelda Mapsaisa, a beloved mother, cherished friend to so many, and a woman whose warmth and kindness touched so many.
Okay.
To speak about Imelda is to speak about someone who truly saw people. She had a gift for noticing what others needed. She knew when someone needed encouragement, when they needed a listening ear, and when they simply needed someone beside them so they wouldn't feel alone. She made people feel seen, valued, and cared for. For more than 35 years, Los Angeles was her home. She built community wherever she went, through her church, through her friendships, through generosity, through the everyday acts of care that often matter most. Imelda loved to cook, and for those lucky enough to know her, that love is something you could taste and feel. Her table was more than a place to share a meal. It was a place where people gathered, laughed, and felt like they belonged. She was a proud and devoted mother who raised her daughter with strength, resilience, and deep love. Everything Imelda did carried the same spirit of care and intention. She believed life was meant to be lived fully, working hard, and she believed in enjoying the fruits of that labor, traveling the world, embracing new experiences, and never waiting for permission to live with joy. On April 3rd, Imelda's life was tragically changed when she was struck by a drunk driver. She faced those final days with tremendous strength, and on April 7th, she passed peacefully, surrounded by her daughter and family. There are no words that can fully make sense of a loss like this, and the 72 hours that her daughter had to endure. But what remains is the way she made people feel loved, welcome, and less alone. So today we honor Imelda by carrying forward her example to lead with kindness, to care for one another, and to live fully while we can. May she rest in peace, and may her light continue to live on in all who loved her, and may perpetual light shine upon her.
Thank you so much, Councilmember. Any other adjourning motions? All right, seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, time to set the record straight. Ooh. You have to be careful with anything with Scientology, because they will try to trip anyone up. Where's it? He left. Where is he? I'm here to make sure the record is set straight. I'm here to make sure the record's set straight. Because that ain't cool. That ain't fair. Oh, good. You're talking to them. I was making sure the record is set straight. Because the city attorney, like, you know, for the Girl Scouts, the city attorney blamed Herman. Now, when Herman's wrong, and he, whatever, and they give him a warning, that's between them. But it was not Herman. It was the speaker right before them that said something rude to the Girl Scouts that made them look back. And it's not fair that he's kicked out and blamed. He didn't do it. It was this other person.
She wasn't talking to the little girls. She was talking to Herman.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah.
No, I was there.
I was there too. I was standing back here though.
No, I mean up there. She was saying, she said something under her breath to them, and they looked at her. And she was saying to me too that I'm a hot mess.
When the city attorney talked to Herman, she was walking this way, and she said something to Herman, and they thought she was talking about.
Yeah, but no, but he was talking about when they looked back, like they looked outside. They didn't. The Girl Scouts were not looking at Herman. They were looking at her because she said something.
Right.
She said something rude to them and to me. Like she was really rude about it, and then she was coming out. The city attorney, I think, assumed it was Herman starting trouble, and then of course he, you know, kicked him out, and then he went off. But
Well, he went off because he didn't say anything.
right, he was innocent. It was her, and so that's why I just want the record straight. It's not fair that he's kicked out. Yeah, when I find out that the record's been cleared, I gotta clear the truth, man. I stand on. He's talking to him now, right? Yeah, I'll catch the city attorney because that was not fair. Because
Are you talking about girls?
Yeah, because
It wasn't on Grow, it wasn't on the city attorney. The city attorney just emphasized the warning to ensure that the warning was there.
No, he kicked him out, right?
No, it wasn't the city attorney.
president.
It was the desk.
Okay, but see, it was all based on false info. They thought it was Herman starting something because he said, we warned you. And it wasn't. It was the speaker prior that was being nasty to the Girl
second
Scouts.
warning is what you didn't see. When the kids were up there speaking, Armando stood up and started doing a bunch of gestures. Yeah.
No, but it was, but the speaker, because I was right there. The speaker said something really rude to these kids when they were starting to speak. And that's what they couldn't see any hand gestures because they were facing forward. So she spoke and said something rude to me first. She said, and then
little kids?
No. The
this
speaker.
happened when all the little
Okay, so
kids
what
were
happened? Yeah, what happened? No. This was when the two little girls were talking about the animals.
They didn't care what happened with the speaker before. All that stuff happened when the two little girls were up there.
Yes, but what I'm saying, they couldn't see. They don't have eyes on the back of their head, so they could not see Herman doing hand gestures. It was the speaker before them that the one with the,
Well, you know what?
she said something really rude to
Even
them.
the little kids didn't have to be the ones that were being disrupted.
No, they weren't. They were being
No,
good.
It was the members themselves. When you try to focus in on the kids or whoever the speaker is, and you have somebody jumping around in the back.
No, it wasn't that.
alone is-
No, I'm telling you, I was right there.
Yeah,
That
but you didn't see Armando. He jumped.
because they couldn't see it either. I couldn't see it, and they couldn't see it.
They
But
saw
no,
it.
but
That's why he grossed
but
out.
yeah, but they're assuming it was him that was disrupting it. They didn't. Grote did not hear the
No,
nasty comment by
He
that
gave him the
speaker.
warning. He gave him the warning of the disruption because he was in the middle of the aisle.
No, I know,
doing all that
but
stuff. But the one prior to that one, I don't know if that was even addressed.
no, but what I was trying to tell Grote, like he got kicked out for it, but it was that speaker.
It's okay.
That
Armando
was rude.
Understood. He could have just walked out, but he didn't. He just made it even worse.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that I agree with.
Actually, even reminded
But that speaker's a problem. That speaker harassed. They're harassing me, and they were harassing. It was the one. I don't know. Has the purple? She had the purple thing around her head.
Oh, yeah.
She spoke, and then the girls came, and she said she was really. She said something rude to me, and she said something rude to the girls. That's what made them turn.
Sassy like that, yeah.
And so that's what I want to stand up. That it was her, not
Right there.
Herman.
Don't run her over. Huh?
Don't tempt me. No. All right, have a good weekend, everyone. She's going to say something. Watch, you go watch. She's going to say something.
So listen, so I talked to him, and this is what it was. So he's claiming that he might have not heard the initial yelling, but the response back, he did hear that, and that's when he caught on that something in the back was happening. And it's not, unfortunately, it was.
But he was just making hand gestures, which they or not, I could not see. We don't have eyes in the back of our head.
Yeah.
It was her.
Yeah, and so he said, hey, look, it is what it is. I'm not retracting anything. When I turned, I saw Herman already yelling and screaming. He said, for some reason, I can recognize Herman's voice when he's causing a disruption, and that's just what it was.
He didn't even speak at all until he got called out.
Yeah, so he said, hey, I'm sticking with what
I'm going to write him a letter. I'm going to set him straight.
Okay, well, I did talk to
And,
him about
and I'm not here to defend Herman. I'm just like, this is the person that caused the problem. That ain't fair. That ain't cool.
I told him that there was multiple witnesses saying the same thing, and he said, look, I don't have to go based on witness. I can go based on what I observed. And
He didn't hear anything because Herman didn't speak until he called him out again. But that's the part that the person's been harassing me. Every time I come here, they harass me, and they're harassing little Girl Scouts. Like, why? Let them have their moment. But then because Grote did that, it triggered Herman, which I disagree with how he reacted to it. But that didn't have to happen. But Grote did that.
Grote will do Grote stuff.
I know.
So
I'm here just to say,
but I did talk to
on
him
the
about
record, that this person, I appreciate it. You kept your word. Dimples kept his word. Because at least he needs to know that it wasn't, Because again, he couldn't hear. I wish I had the microphone on a freaking rude person. To do that to little Girl Scouts, that's just mean. But where's Grote? I might wait for Grote. I want to talk to Grote. Is Grote going to come by? I don't like that they do that. I want to catch Grote. You guys here? I want to wait and see if Grote comes out, unless he already came out. I can't believe they only called the bogus name. They never called my name. Like, I'm getting tired of that too. They had enough time. They have all this time for all these presentations. They have time to take public comment. Hold on. The randomizer. But that's bogus, man. That's why we have to put in multiple names. That's exactly why. I mean, they called Henry's name, like, he came in just 2 minutes before he's maybe 5 minutes before he spoke. I signed in like at 9:45. It's ridiculous. Something needs to be done about it. I'm just waiting to see if Grote comes out. Like, I may have missed them, but... Oh, here we go. Here it comes. All right. No, I'm here to give my... They didn't call... Here, I'm here to make my public comment. Where's your manager? I'm here to make a complaint.
Oh, no, I'm really...
How was the library?
Oh, it was good.
Was it? I forgot all about it. I was going to go haunt you.
I saw, who was there?
Right now, maybe I have to go bug him.
Yeah, Gabe's down there. But yesterday we had a motor go down, right there, like, almost in front of the rec center.
Really?
Like,
a car right there?
100 feet from the library.
Like a regular car or a police cruiser?
A police officer on a motorcycle. We refer to them as motors.
Oh, yeah.
He went down and it looks pretty ugly. I haven't gotten an update on what it looks like, but I'm hoping he's okay.
I hope so too.
But it didn't look good.
Are you serious? Oh,
Well,
wow.
Yeah.
You know, I did see something on, what do you call it? I remember something about a motorcycle, but it didn't say officer or anything. It just said motorcycle.
Yeah, he went down yesterday.
Oh, that's sad. I don't wish that.
About
Oh,
5
man.
o'clock.
That's really...
Yeah, they had the street closed for a few hours. How he's doing, so I have to find out. I have to make an inquiry to find out.
Well, person, well wishes.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the person who was harassing the Girl Scouts.
But I'm gonna open this room at 12:30.
For what?
For the budget hearing at 1 o'clock.
Is that one? The budget hearing
starts at 1.
But is this the one where that you can't comment until like 5:00 p.m.?
So they are scheduled to have public comment. I have been trying to confirm information since receiving this information early, right? I would definitely say if they hear public comment, they're going to cut it off. And depending on when public comment starts, they're either going to try to end this thing at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. They're going to try to end it early.
But they're going to try to keep the public comment at the end. Is that
They
correct?
want it Monday. They were supposed to do public. They should have left it public comment Monday. The problem is the agenda for today says public comment. They shouldn't have done that. It caused the confusion. People coming today, but I will tell you, it's like they cut it off.
There was that other person who did all that.
Yeah, which I spoke to him. I spoke to Grote also, and I did talk to him about that at length.
Good.
I did, but due to his, I know that he's contesting it, but he can't do it that way. And I reminded Armando he has to try, and I know he can't because he has to try to control his emotions, but he tries, but he can't.
Right,
But
I know.
I said when you disagree with a decision, you need to come to us and have us go speak with Grote. And
I agree. I mean, that's why. It's nasty to the little girl, necessarily.